Right then, guys, good morning, afternoon, evening, as always, whenever you are listening to this. Welcome to our new National Hunt Weekly Review podcast by Rain It In Horse Racing in association with Race and Stay. New format, which we'll go through very shortly. We're joined, as always, by Bo in his very busy schedule. Bo, hope the house is going okay, mate, the house move.
Yes, yep. So in the process of moving house, not had too much chance to watch racing, but I've tried to catch up with it the best that I can. So yeah,
You never miss a beat, mate. Don't be too modest. You're definitely not missing a beat anywhere you are. Don't worry about that. And we're also now delighted to be joined by our new regular for this show, Jordan from JMB Racing, for those of you that are on X/Twitter or whatever you want to call it. Now, Jordan, welcome aboard first and foremost, and welcome to the new show. This is your second podcast debut, I believe. Not for us, obviously, but it's your personally second debut on the podcast.
Yeah, you're right. No, first off, just want to say thank you, obviously, for reaching out and just obviously offering a hand to obviously join and take part. But yeah, second one, I used to do one with two mates that I worked with that just sort of petered out, mate. So yeah, just to be fair, I'm quite glad you threw out that hand to join, and yeah, happy to hopefully get stuck in.
I actually didn't think this podcast was like too much longer than when me and Bo first started. Listen to us first the other day, but I was saying to you one, and it was just like
yeah.
listening to. Oh God, it was horrific. I don't even know how we're still here, but we're cracking on. We're cracking on and doing our best anyway. But so guys, obviously those that are listening, this is a new show for us. Just giving you a bit of a breakdown of how the format's going to work. One of the main reasons why I reached out to Jordan was Jordan has a much better way of reviewing things than what I do. So Jordan's going to be coming in straight away with a big review of the week for us, really breaking it down into sizable chunks. We're then going to get into a little bit of the nitty gritty, how the week's gone. We'll pick up on a few bits of subjects, any eye catchers or anti-posts that might have floated his boat, and then just have a quick look at the week ahead, but very, very brief. And we are looking to try and get all these episodes done within at least 30 minutes for you guys. So it's straight in, straight out, take it in, and then away we go. So we are going to crack straight on, Jordan. Don't you give us the quick run around on last week's National Hunt Racing?
I'm going to quickly start from literally the weekend roundup from last week. Just one thing, obviously, mentioned Wind Beneath My Wings, ruled out, obviously, to the new year. Obviously, one of the hot favourites or for the Supreme. Obviously, now question marks whether he'll even get there if he's not going to be ready till the new year. So I thought I'd just throw that out quickly for those that maybe haven't seen anything regarding that. Handstands, obviously, return at Carlisle. He was beat by Resplendent Grey of Ollie Murphy's. Handstands looks to be going for the Betfair Chase. He was 8-1 at the time. Obviously, when I made my notes, I believe he's now into around 5-1. So he's been clipped a little bit.
We're fans of handstands, Jordan. We're fans of handstands on the show.
You're fans as well. That's good to know. I am another one. Obviously, Resplendent Grey is going to go for the Coral Gold Cup as well at Newbury. Again, 8-1 at the time I made my notes at the start of last week. He's been clipped slightly into 6-1. Another mention was Hewick is going to be going to Newbury apparently for the long distance hurdle. Also notably, Hanlon has mentioned the Cheltenham Stayers hurdle, which is a bit of a surprise to me. He's 50-1 for that if anyone is interested. Willie Mullins, Ile Ed Tomps make a solid return at Clonmel last week. He's obviously all set for the Tingle Creek for a rematch with John Bon. We saw Iroko's plan lined out for the year. It's pretty much the same as last year. All eyes to the Grand National. I think the route is going to be a graduation chase in a few weeks. And he's going to do Ascot, Cheltenham, Kelso, and then the Grand National. He's 20-1 for the Grand National after finishing 4th last year. It's not that bad a price. This will be one for probably quite a few. Looking at this next weekend, Brighter Days Ahead is going to be apparently returning. And also Marine Nationale as well could both. So pretty much both of them can make their reappearances this week at Navan. We saw Hattie Couleurs as well make a winning return at Newbury off top weight. So that is quite a good performance considering the weight it had to carry. Betfair Chase is tempting apparently to Rebecca Curtis. He's 3-1, so it looks like he is going to be going there. we saw the quite impressive Jackie Hobbs make a nice hurdling debut for Harry Deerham. Sloppy over the last, but class probably saw her through. She's going to go in for a listed mares race somewhere. Didn't see when, but then Sandown for the Jane Moore mares novice hurdle in February seems like a possible future target. And then Doyen Quest as well bolted up at Exeter for Dan Skelton. Obviously, they're in good form. They seem to have their horses forward for this time of year. Coral Gold Cup is mentioned as the next target. So that'll be an interesting one. I think it's about 20-1. That seems a decent price. Envoy Allen, the old boy, he returned at Down Royal, winning the Bet Victor, champion chase. He's set for a spring campaign, so pretty much back next year by the sounds of it. Then we saw Nichols with two good winners sort of at the weekend. Blue King Daru won the Grade 2 Rising Stars Novice Chase at Wincanton. No plans as of yet for him. I think we're going to discuss him sort of later on in Nichols' stable. Rubord as well, if that's how you pronounce it, come back and won his third elite hurdle. Had to battle for that and look good. He's got two future targets hopefully lined up. Impose Trois, is that how you pronounce it? He won off top weight at the weekend. Sort of depending to see what the handicapper does with him to see where he goes next. The Potemps final obviously has been earmarked as a possible target, but again, if the handicapper has too much to play with him, then they may have to look to go up into graded or listed company. What else is there? Mambo number 5 is another one. Could head to Ascot for the Knoll Chase or Kempton for the Wayward Lad after winning first time up this season. And then we could also see the return of Gidley Park. Obviously very exciting last year for anyone that is a big fan of him. I personally am. So it'd be interesting to see if he returns at Ascot sort of end of this week. Then we have Ma Chanteau heads to Haydock for the Betfair Stayers Handicap Hurdle. Obviously won at Cheltenham last month with a bit in hand. Obviously over 3 miles. Looks a nice prospect for Emma Lavelle. He was 7th in the Albert Bartlett last season at Cheltenham. He's currently 7-2 favourite for that race at Haydock. Spillane's Tower now won't go to Haydock for the Betfair Chase, obviously after his disappointing run at Naas at the weekend. Could go back to Punchestown for the John Durkin, but doesn't sound too likely, to be honest, based off the comments after. He just didn't seem to perform. We've also got Gordon Elliott's Port Authority, was an impressive winner first time out at Naas, winning 17 lengths. He's obviously been touted for the Formby's Novice Hurdle. They're the notes from last week, and hopefully there's a few sort of pointers to where a few could go and maybe a few nice prices for anyone that is interested.
No, listen, spot on, Jordan. And listen, never ever apologise for pronunciation of horses because you're with the Yorkshireman and somebody from Birmingham. So I can only assure you there'll be some worse pronunciations than that throughout this whole time that we have together.
Where'd you start with that, Craig?
Well, I'm going to jump straight in with Paul Nicholls, to be honest with you, because I think
Okay.
over the last 7 days, from what I've seen, a very sort of mixed bag of emotions really for the last 7 days for him. He's had some winners without being massively spectacular. Obviously, Rubo, although battled well, I mean, he was 1-8 on. You'd expect him to win. Caliph de Burley obviously was the huge downer for him. I mean, touted as one of his best ever 2 miles, which I mean was a bit of an absurd comment anyway. But looks like a handicapper now after his run. I mean, he ran a no sort of race at all. I thought he'd actually have a good year, to be fair, but it might be a turbulent one for him, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I just find it. You put him up 2 weeks ago as an anti-post pick for the festival.
Oh, my anti-post pick this year have been genuinely one of the worst starting 3 weeks ever.
Yeah. He was sent off 13-8, so you weren't alone. A lot of people fancied him, but maybe he's a bit of a Fruit Loop, and he's going to put in some bad runs. But you'd think that's too bad to be true, wouldn't you? I know it was a handicap, but yeah, it was pretty terrible. So you can't take many positives from it, I don't think, Craig, to be honest.
No, there's absolutely no positives whatsoever, but zero.
No. What price is he now? Have you checked?
No. I've not even bothered looking. I don't even want to look. He's probably not even betting anymore, to be honest with
Yeah,
What
I
race
mean,
did you put him up for,
was
by the way?
you. I actually thought he was. I actually thought come after Aintree that he would have been one of the better 2 milers we would have had for the champion chase
Champion
division.
Chase.
And
16 to 1, was it?
yeah, and I actually
Yeah.
thought that might have been pretty nice price, and he's made me look like a right.
Look, he was a 5-year-old running against seasoned horses. As I said, there's not many positives to take, but maybe judge him on his next run, I would think. But
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, Blue Kangaroo ran a solid race. Looks like he wants about 7 mile. He just keeps finding and finding, and that he runs like a real stayer. So I mean, that could be a plus point for the Nichols yard, but definitely going to be a tough season ahead. I think looking at that, and especially with Dan Skelton just being the way he is, and obviously you've got people like Ben Paul and Ollie Murphy that just seems to be picking up some nice horses. Well, I think it could be another tough season from what could have been quite um, an optimistic one, I suppose, at the start. But Jordan obviously mentioned a few
yeah,
for the Betfair Chase as well, which is coming up in a few weeks. Obviously, Hattie Allure, who came back and won when I don't think it was really expected to win on seasonal reappearance. Handstand, which obviously
yeah.
is a big one for us guys. It looks competitive, but I must admit, I do think handstands at Haydock, if he gets the right ground at 6 to 1, I think could still be a really, really good price come the day.
So they've blown away the cobwebs with him now, and I think he's a proper stayer. Although you're probably not going to get the Haydock ground we're used to, I still think it's a tough track with that long running. So he could grind it out. I think it's interesting. Haiti Couleurs looks like he's being campaigned like a Gold Cup horse. Time will tell. I would think that the national would be an obvious aim for him, but if they're going to go for this, then best of luck to them. I just wonder if he's going to be caught out for speed in the top grade 3 mile chases, but we'll see.
I'm literally just looking at it before we obviously come onto the podcast, and you're obviously looking at the betting. And looking at it, it doesn't look like half of them have been. Well, it looks like most of them have been ruled out. To be honest, they're going sort of elsewhere, and
Yeah,
obviously it doesn't look like there's many runners most years, and it probably looks again the same. Just going through it at the moment, I can only probably see 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, maybe expected runners. Could be 4, depending, like you said, if the ground isn't going to be heavy, because that's normally Royal Pagai's sort of key attribute, isn't it? When it's heavy ground, he sort of flourishes. But again, if it's not going to be,
yeah.
you take him out. You're only looking at really guaranteed short top of the market is Grey Dawning, Hattie Couleurs, and handstands. Once you take Royal Pagai off, after that, you're looking massive double figure prices, and most of them have been touted elsewhere. So I think if you want to back handstands at 6 to 1 now, you might as well take while the places are sort of on offer. I know it's only going to be 3, but come the day, it might only be 2 or 1. So it's an each
Yeah.
way to nothing at the current price, and it might well look a good price when half the field don't rock up
I
for
know
the
I
like.
said this last week, but or last time we were on, I really think they should be campaigning Grey Dawning as a Ryanair horse. I know that he came here last year and obviously put up a good performance, didn't? But yeah, I think they should be campaigning him like a Ryanair horse for me.
No, I'm not too sure. I think the big takeaway I'm getting is 6 to 1 handstands is probably a relatively good price at this stage with a couple of weeks left. Obviously, you mentioned about Elite Thompson as well. I thought he looked well the other day. Probably in a bit of a predicament with him. I mean, I know he's
Yeah.
very short for the Tingle Creek now as well, but I just don't know how you can campaign him. I still don't think he's a Cheltenham horse. I'm still convinced he's not a Cheltenham horse. Really, I don't think he's at his absolute best there. But will he end up giving Connections no choice but to give it a go? That's my only half thought. Is he just going to mop up in most of the races that he runs in and probably give him no choice but to have a go at the champion chase?
Unless they keep him fresh for Aintree, I don't know what their priorities are going to be. But I think they should go to Cheltenham with him. I think in a year where the champion chase could be quite open, I think they should definitely throw him into it. I'd take John Bond straight out of the picture. He doesn't like Cheltenham for me. So, I think looking at that market, Sergino, you don't know what's going to happen. obviously Marine Nationale will see, but he was a good winner last year. I think they should definitely go for it.
I agree with you. I think it could be a. I won't say a poor. I won't say a poor field by no stretch, but I think it could definitely be an open one, like you say. Just want a quick couple of minutes on Port Authority. This is one that I. It sounds stupid to say that it's an eye catch because he won by 17 lengths, but I mean he's a £200,000 purchase after winning a point in March. This was a good win, I thought. I mean the horse that came second. I mean he went off like a scalded cat, didn't it? I mean he absolutely just went off like the clappers. And Port Authority was the only horse that was ever going to get near it. And he did, and then he went away again once he's gone past the horse. Quarter 25 to 1 for a Supreme. Obviously, I'd like to see it run again next time out. I think, obviously, Jordan mentioned there was talk about the Formby coming over to Aintree. Obviously, it's now run at Aintree and not Sandown, which is a bit of a shame. But I were quite taken by this, but I don't know if you've seen the race back yet.
Yeah.
It did everything right, and I think obviously coming off a strong pace like it did do, it couldn't have been any more impressive for me.
Yeah, I mean, visually he was very impressive, wasn't he? But I would just err on the side of whenever you see a horse winning like this, you've just got to question what's going on. And I think if you watch it back with the mindset of there was only two horses in the race that were actually probably trying to win it, I think you'll take a very different viewpoint on it. To me,
I think you're a cynic, Bo. I really do.
yeah, I am a cynic. I definitely am. But I think the everyone else just let the front two dictate the race, gave them really soft leads, and just let them do what they want. And it just looked like they didn't want to get any closer. And then, as you said, that one horse did go off like the clappers. So I think there was only ever one horse that was going to win. That's just my opinion. Like he looked like he did it nicely, but I just never trust these long distance wins in Irish maiden hurdles.
Jordan, what is he still 25? I don't know if you've got the price up there. Is he still 25 to 1 for our best price for the Supreme?
Yeah, he's still that price. Like to me, I agree with Bo. I think I'm obviously one who's from the flat, and I probably think the same as like them Irish maidens. Half the time they're not trying, especially when you've probably got Mullins or Elliott at the top of the field, like you would O'Brien with the flat. You can only take it with a pinch of salt. I'd probably side with caution as well. I think you've got to see the form, sort of back it up after, give it two or three runs to see if stuff starts coming out. Especially, I don't think Elliott's got that great a record in like recent years at Cheltenham either, has he? You guys will know more than me. But I don't think he has the greatest record in like the top sort of races at Cheltenham. So again, I would side with caution. With Bo, I'd like to see him back it up again before steaming in at that price, even though it is one you can sort of take a risk on. But
the one I would like you to go back and watch, if you watch this race again, go back and watch a horse called Between Friends, trained by Ender Bolger, in some very iconic green and yellow silks. Opened up at 13 to 2, drifted out to 12 to 1, and please just go back and watch that and let me know what you think.
And that's Ender Bolger, not Edna, what I thought the name was for years. Anyway,
I remember you telling me that.
Came with that story when I thought it was called Edna Bolger. I thought that for years, literally until I was about 30. Honestly, mate, yeah. No, to be honest, the only reason why I was impressed by it was I think because of the way that it went past the horse.
Yeah.
I mean, if it won by like 2 lengths, I'd have gone, yeah, he's obviously caught him late and then kicked on.
He did pick that other horse up very easily.
And bear in mind as well, the horse that came second was the favourite as well.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, that's where I was coming from with that one. Last couple then, obviously Lalamba, we now know he's going chasing after schooling very well as well with, so Nicky Henderson tells us, as much as we can believe Nicky Henderson, not that I'm saying that he lies, but of course that's what's coming out of the stables. Is he a player for the Arkle, Bo? I know obviously me and you especially like his anti-post picks. I mean, is he an anti-post pick? I think I said to you before. Not. Yeah, hear me out. What I'm saying is, right, I said this before to you, but to be fair, I did say this when you were like 6 to 1 rather than what he is now. Can you name me 2 other 2-mile novices that we can produce in the UK to run in the Arkle? Just off the top of your head. I'll take that as a no. So my point is, right, he's literally going to be running against absolutely nothing all the way probably up until the festival. Now, I'm not saying he's going to win at the festival, but if anyone that's, again, I put this out a few months ago, if anybody that likes to have a bet to nothing or bet to try and lay off closer to the time, this could be one of them scenarios like we had with El Fabiolo and John Bon, where you're going to have one from Ireland, one from England, probably one odds on, probably go up at the board, probably odds on, and then the Lambert sat at like 6-4. Do I think Lambert will win? No, I don't think it will. But I'm just talking about if you're a layer out there, then I think this is a bet to absolutely nothing.
I just don't think he's going to go here at all. I think he's going to swerve Cheltenham. I think if he was going to go anywhere, I would say the Browns, because obviously they got rid of the Turners, but I really can't see him going to the Browns as a 5-year-old. So therefore, I think they'll just swerve it and go to Aintree. I just really don't think he's a 2-miler. I've been told before that Nicky does wonders at training pace into horses, and I think he'll really have to work a miracle with this horse, because people are looking at him in the same ilk as Sergino because he's got the same colours. This horse is nothing like Sergino at all.
I agree with that.
He is a proper staying chase, a big stamp of a horse. And I do agree with the decision to go chasing. I think he definitely wants to get over fences as soon as possible. But I just can't see him winning over 2 miles and being competitive against these nippier types.
Him and Romeo Cooley would have probably been perfect for what used to be the old. What is it? Chase, wasn't it?
Turners.
2.5 miles, just the turns.
Yeah, the marsh, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever it was like that.
Yeah. I would agree. I think he'd be an absolutely fantastic bet in the Turners, but I just really can't have him in the Arkle. As you said, if he was 6-1 or like bigger, maybe I'd be entertaining thinking about it. But some of the bookies have him at 100-30. Like, that is just ridiculously short.
It's a shocking price.
I really don't think he's quick enough to go here. So, Kopek de Boer's running this weekend. I believe he's running against Brighter Days Ahead.
Well, yeah, I was going to say. So, yes, I mean,
the weekend is monumental.
It's the Navan Festival, isn't it? So, I mean, we could see Kopek de Boer versus Brighter Days Ahead. I think it's very unlikely, but we could see that. Obviously, we've got Cheltenham back as well. This coming week, also got the Shola Chase, which John Bon will probably be attending, I would imagine. Obviously, the November meeting. It's the Paddy Power Gold Cup, and then it's the Greatwood Hurdle, I think, on the Sunday, isn't it? I think, if I've got me days right. Yeah. Finally, then, any eye catchers or anti-posts that we've taken out of this week just gone? If there's not, don't worry about it. I'd just like to throw it out there if there is. For me, I am having a little look again at Port Authority just to see what happens in behind. One thing I would say, there was a bit of a form boost for the Dr. de Menil, this week.
Right, okay.
The Devil, I think it was Devil You Know. I think it was Devil You Know who came second to it. Beat Rob Kerr Hot Pot during the week.
Okay.
So worth having a look at that for anybody that's interested in the in Dr. de Menil, which I am for the Turners. But anything you can't put in, mate?
So Only by Night ran yesterday. I thought she was really, really impressive. She has only run once over 2.5 miles. Now, Gavin Cromwell said that they're working back from the Mare's Chase. Fair play to you. I think she's got an outstanding chance in that. With the form in the book from last year, she's 33-1 for the Champion Chase. I just think, have a look at that. I think that's a big price, particularly if maybe she shows that she doesn't really stay 2.5. That's yet to see. And just going back a couple of weeks, there was a horse, an Emmett Mullins horse called Back Me or Sack Me, that had Sean Bowen on board at Cheltenham, running a 3-mile 1 handicap. Now, it's early to be naming your colours to any masses for the handicaps at Cheltenham, but I think this horse has definitely got a big one in him. He's a novice over fences, so he put in a couple of slower jumps. They weren't bad jumps; they were just slower jumps against seasoned handicappers down the back straight, which put him on the back foot. But he finished like a train. He was only carrying a lightweight, Sean Bowen was, so he's entitled to do that. But I just put him in your tracker. I think he's definitely one for the spring handicaps when they release the handbrake.
Jordan, anything to add, mate? If you don't worry about it.
No, the only one I was sort of interested in was that man Chateau that runs at Haydock. That's going to run at Haydock anyway for Emma Lavelle. I think depending on how he goes there, I know we probably don't have much chance in the Stayers hurdle at Cheltenham, but he's one I'd maybe throw up if he performs well at Haydock. That maybe he could be a hope for that race at a big price. I don't know what price he is for the Stayers hurdle, but he may be one that I would potentially look at depending on how he gets on at Haydock. Other than that, I'm happy to wait for obviously this weekend at Navan, see sort of how they perform coming out, and then make a judge from there.
Yeah, I think the Stayers this year is just going to be an absolute minefield, isn't it? I mean, even Imposed Twa, who we mentioned as well, that could be one for the Stayers alongside like Honesty Policy as well for JP. So I think there's going to be lots coming out the woodwork between now, definitely, and March. But listen, guys, thanks very much for coming on. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll go again next week. A bit of a different format to what we're used to. But listen, guys, hope everyone's enjoyed it. Hope everyone's enjoyed listening. Please, by all means, always usual listeners, get following Jordan as well. What is it? Is it at JMB Racing? Jordan, is that right?
Oh, he's testing me here to remember that. I think it is just JMB Racing.
We'll tag in this anyway, so everyone can do it anyway. So make sure you're following Jordan, etc. like that. Thanks for listening, guys. Catch up with you next week. Bo, hope the house thing goes well. Keep going with all that, and we'll catch up with everybody next week.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, take care.